but this is certainly a strategy that you as the veteran can utilize to be able to A, purchase a home, and B, get into that home with limited out-of-pocket expenses, or heck, maybe even nothing at all. Good to go? VA loans and seller concessions. What exactly does that even mean? And most importantly, how does it impact me as a veteran or active duty service member? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to cover today. So that way, when you get ready to purchase a home, you're AJ squared away, you know exactly what to expect, and hopefully you can negotiate with the seller and have them cover some of these costs associated with the acquisition of the home. Good to go? So the first thing that I want to cover is simply this. There are pros and there are certainly cons to purchasing a home in today's market, right? What are the cons? The cons are, well, interest rates have increased, which therefore impacts monthly payments. You're paying more in interest, right? Never a good thing. So we certainly want to make sure that a veteran is able to make the mortgage payments in a timely manner, right? But if you are, and you do have a piece about purchasing a home in today's market, there's actually some pros with an elevated interest rate environment. The pros being this, that you, as the veteran or active duty service member, have more leverage when purchasing that home and negotiating with the seller. Jimmy, how do you mean exactly? Well, what I mean is simply this. If there's less people in the market looking for homes, right? You, as the buyer, are in the driver's seat. Found that this information was of value. Consider showing your love, clicking like on the video, and if you have any additional questions, comment down below. Meaning this, that you can actually use some of that leverage to negotiate with the seller, having them cover a portion and or all of the costs due at closing. So sometimes I'll have veterans that will come to me and they'll say, Jimmy, you know, I know that the VA loan doesn't require any money down, but I didn't know that it had closing costs. Regardless of loan type, whether it's a conventional loan, FHA loan, or heck, even if you're paying cash, there's always going to be costs associated with the acquisition of the home. So let's do a little bit of role play here for just a second, right? Let's say that you're in the market to purchase a home, you identify my home, you want to write an offer on my home, right? You can say, hey, Jimmy, I want to buy your home, but I want you to cover a portion or all of the costs in conjunction with the acquisition of the home. If you do that, not only will you have a VA loan with no money down, but you may be able to purchase a home with no out-of-pocket expenses, allowing you once again to have no money down and no out-of-pocket expenses. So this is certainly a pro of purchasing a home in an elevated interest rate environment that you otherwise might not see if interest rates go down, allowing you to A, be in the home, and B, eventually refinance your mortgage, right, to a lower interest rate, saving money and partaking in that appreciation over the duration of home ownership. Good to go? So what are the maximum seller concessions that VA will allow? Here's the answer, 4%. But if you look at VA's guidelines, you'll actually see that there's some additional verbiage in there that makes it a little bit, how would you say, maybe confusing, or meaning this, that it says, VA loan seller concessions cannot exceed 4%. However, right, do not include normal or customary discount points or closing costs when determining whether the seller concessions exceed 4%. So what does that mean, right? Well, what it means is that you can request that the seller pay the closing cost portion, and in addition to that, other things towards, for example, paying off debt to qualify or buying out your lease to get into the house. So you can really get creative with seller concessions on a VA loan. Now understand this, right? Not every seller is going to want to partake in seller concessions, and it'll depend on each individual scenario, how long the home's been on the market, how much activity the home has had on it in the time that it's been on the market. But this is certainly a strategy that you as the veteran can utilize to be able to A, purchase a home, and B, get into that home with limited out-of-pocket expenses, or heck, maybe even nothing at all. Good to go? My name is Jimmy Vercellino. If you found that this information was of value, consider showing your love, clicking like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any additional questions, comment down below. We'll talk to you soon.